Hey, let's get Gaurav Joshi back again in the studio.
Absolutely, Anil. So let's have
Only if you could
Gaurav with.
hear me.
Yes, I think Gaurav, uh, after you becoming physically tired, your voice has also become tired.
I know my voice is gone. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for having me on the show and to uh, working on with my technical difficulties as always.
No, Gaurav, it's a pleasure having you with us. And now, Gaurav, can we have your screen change because it'll be great to have a full view of yours. If you are able to do that, it'll be amazing. Changing from the portrait to a landscape, if it's possible, your mobile phone.
Okay. How now?
Oh wow! Now you look phenomenal. We can see you
Okay.
so phenomenally well. Awesome, Gaurav. So
Thank you.
let's hear from you. WorkBuddy is one of the most interesting concepts, and I'm so glad I came in touch with you. Indeed, work from home has been a new culture, which was a taboo before March 2020, or let's just say just before 2020, when people used to say, "Hey, I'm working from home," and they're like, aren't they doing well, man? Is there some problem in their business? And there was a lot more misconceptions and judgments. So what's your take? How will work from home be impact or a trend? And how are people looking at working in co-working space in the other side of it? Can you just put some light on it moving into 2021?
Sure. See, to start with, we've been advocating remote working and flexible working for a very long time now. And for people in the industry, what COVID-led restrictions has done is not really brought about something new. It has just fast forwarded the way we work to the future because there are always predictions that flexible and remote working would become a major part of every business's work strategy. So if you were to ask me, how would this trend go into 2021? Well, in my opinion, companies too eager to ditch the now household work from home routine, I think would be making a mistake. They would be wasting a very important opportunity. When we first started with the restrictions, a lot of us thought that maybe a few businesses would come to a grinding halt. But what happened, in fact, was completely different. Businesses not just performed, but in a lot of cases also performed more efficiently with equal amount of productivity. So I see the drive going forward would have three major factors driving it. One, a big portion of your workforce having worked from home would be keen to continue that, right? And they've done it successfully, then why not? And if this saves the business some money and gives your employees a better work-life balance, then it's a win-win. Number
Yes.
two, I Yes. Number two, I think health and safety would be a very important concern, and businesses would try to de-densify their offices, focus on health, safety, and what this would mean in a lot of cases would be split teams, split locations, or multiple teams working from multiple locations simultaneously. So this would again drive your decisions. But more important, or the most important aspect I would, or the lesson that I'd say is business continuity. Businesses that had already adopted flexible working long back, in fact, adapted better to the need to work from home, right? And like they say, history does not repeat itself, but it often rhymes. So businesses would be keen to be better prepared for the future. That's what I think. But I would not be as bullish as Ronan was in his predictions for 2021. Uh, just to sum it up, I think, in our opinion, this is a very good opportunity for businesses to one experiment, to re-evaluate, and then learning from these lessons, make a better decision. So realigning to the changing needs, and then working out a new strategy, which then brings about better experience, better productivity, and better results is what we would see going into 2021. I'm not going to put it into one basket that people would go back to offices or the death of the office. Rather, this is a time which would help people reevaluate and realign. And I think if a better experience comes out of it, that was the goal that everyone wanted.
I think I love that, Gaurav, because at the same time as we believed that work from home was a taboo, at the same time this year had made people think, why not I shift back to home? I mean, because they are again being a part of a bandwagon. Large businesses have done it, and they are also thinking. But that gets me also to think that probably following the bandwagon and not thinking about what works for their business goals, whether it is about the culture of being together post, because we are at the end of the COVID, let's just say right now, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that.
Yeah.
So overall, I love the point where it's not about working from home again, being joining the tribe and making our business go all out from home, unless that's a business strategy and not following others. What say?
See, okay, in my opinion, nothing can be prescriptive, right? Businesses work differently. Now, if you look at it, when going to office was an obligation and you had to log in at 8:30 and log out at 6, that was the time when people started to come up with term like Monday blues or thank God it's Friday, because going to office was an obligation. What has
Correct.
happened in the last 6 months is working from home for a lot of people has become an obligation. Now, anything which is imposed upon you, I think does not work very well. So, giving people the choice and giving people the empowering people wherever they are, technology helps us, and if your workspace can then complement it, that's where we are going towards what our predictions are for 2021.
I think amazing thought, Gaurav. Because why is Google have been for years the number one company for people to look for job? Not only because it's a large company, large company. Microsoft is a large company. Apple is a large company as well. But Google has the list on the top because of the culture, the work culture. They allow people to feel absolutely at home. Why Google offices have become tourist destinations? There is a reason to it.
Yes,
they
true.
have they've built a culture in a way. So I absolutely agree with that point which you mentioned. It's about no obligation but go for choice, and that can drive right productive results from your team. Powerful one there, Gaurav. And with this, as we are going forth, of course, you have been in the business which is about space, which is about WorkBuddy is about working from the co-working space, right? Any co-working space of your choice. I would love to understand how's the business been from you and what's the strategy, because down the line, as much as people planning to work from home, they're also thinking, is co-working space a thing as well or not? Or yes, that is the way to go because that's where community is. That's where people are now, there's so much of staying at home that co-working space is the only place where they get to meet people after this COVID. So what's your take there?
Yes. No, so you've just done my commercial there for me. To be honest, this is exactly what has happened. Working from home, while great, is not scalable or is not long term for a lot of us. For that spurt of motivation, you need to step out. People have restrictions of space, and someone like me who has a dog and a 4-year-old son, it's even more difficult to be home and still be concentrating. So, giving someone a midpoint from working from home and working from office is where we always saw ourselves to be. And again, we are not going to replace an office. I've never said that. However, we are giving people a choice which would then complement the remote and flexible working. So yeah, things have been fine. We've seen more demand, and I think it is from people who, even though they have offices, are right now stuck working from home and want a flexible midpoint.
Okay, Gaurav. So as we are winding up, and I love that thought, can you give us one piece of advice or one piece of trend that you see in 2021, whether it is about the business growth, marketing, sales, leadership? One piece of advice for our audience moving into 2021.
See, well, this is something that we've adopted. I think smaller businesses did suffer during the whole lockdown. And if, as a business, you could support a small business, that should be your focus. That's what we are trying to do. Any small business which uh, office spaces are expensive, and a workspace, if provided at a flexible price point, could work for them. So we are trying to do that for smaller businesses, and that's my piece of advice to all businesses. Let's support each other and grow the community. Right, Anil?
Awesome.
Perfect. I
I
like
think
that
Gaurav.
thought, Gaurav.
Thank you so much, Gaurav, for being with us on Linkpreneur Story 50 and sharing how the office work culture has become no obligation as a priority for the business and leaders out there. Thank you for joining us, Gaurav, for
Thank
Linkpreneur
you.
Stories.
Thank you, guys.
And take
Thank
rest, buddy. Take some good rest. Thank you
I
so
will.
much.
you.
Thank you.
100 kilometers, Gaurav. Awesome, man.
Thank you. Bye bye. Cheers.
Bye bye.